Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Doc and Queenie Facebook Live. Good afternoon, Queenie.
Good afternoon, Doc. I hear birds chirping.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. I had yesterday was outside and there were a whole bunch of finches doing their finchy thing.
I'm going to have to hashtag that finchy thing. Okay.
Finchy thing. It's a new terminology.
Yeah, seriously.
And yeah, so I was really thrilled to hear that is what I'm trying to say. It's Monday.
Yeah, spring has sprung, the grass is riz. I wonder where them birdies is. That's what my mom used to say.
Yep. So yeah. So how was your weekend?
Oh my gosh. Everything's always a blur and it goes so fast, of course, but the weather in Kansas City was so beautiful and being outside was just like rocking my world. And I'm sure that you got tons of gardening stuff done, right?
Well, I wish I could say yes. I had to do a few things that were necessary. One was close down a bunny apartment complex. In my
yeah, I saw that on one of your posts and I thought, what is she doing? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we have bunnies that live under a wood pile that we've had set up for years. And they have gotten more and more obnoxious. Like last year, we had some bunnies, baby bunnies, show up in my raised bed gardens. And they have never touched my tomato plants. And last year they chewed them down to the ground. And so I'm like, okay, this is war. So I
love it when you say that. I'll give you a little space, but now this is war.
Yeah, I go from one extreme to the other. Yeah, because as you remember, I probably told you that. And you're like, are you going to get rid of them? And I'm like, no, don't, So yeah, and the ironic thing was they had the nest in between the carrots
one of the things
and the lettuce, and they didn't touch it.
Yeah.
So wow. Yeah, if you look on my Facebook page, you can see these new I don't even know what to call them. Well, they're firewood holder thingies that we built. It's a DIY, very simple. So we moved the wood pile, and then I had a flood in my greenhouse. So I am right now digging a trench.
Oh my gosh.
Pull the water away from the foundation. So yeah, so I haven't gotten to do what I want to do as far as gardening. But, gardening can be forgiving to some extent because we're not totally, of course, into the, it's not the middle of July and I haven't had anything planted. So there still is time. It's just, like everything, punt, pivot, readjust.
And start over. Yeah, I love that part.
So what did you do this fine weekend? Anything exciting?
Oh my gosh. Well, the good news is I got a lot of computer work caught up and I get to do a lot of interviews for one of the groups I get to help with. And that was a blast. And then I got several blog posts ahead. So I really had a wonderful day, a couple days on the computers. And I've got several interviews set up for different folks that are looking to co-host in our happy neighborhood. So that's fun. And so it really is. It's a wonderful time, not only to be alive, but as I said, just looking outside, it's just so gorgeous. The grass is getting green, Doc.
Yes, it is. Yes. Have you had anything sprouting up as far as tulips or iris? Or
yes, actually, yes. I think it is one section I think is daffodils, and that's always so fun to see. And I'm hoping one of my favorite things is when my lilac bush actually does its thing. So that's always fun to keep an eye on as well because the smell, the fragrance is phenomenal.
Yes. Oh, I'm super excited. The daffodils, the tulips, the hyacinth. I'm trying to think of what else I have planted. They're all up about, maybe an inch or two.
Yeah. And what I say for this time is it doesn't take a whole lot to make me happy.
Nope. Yeah. So, hey, Queenie, let's go through. We have been blessed today because of all the whining that we do about there's never a good national day of. Well, we have like 4 or 5 things that we can talk about today.
Oh, you're kidding. Well, that's fun.
So should we start with teeth, frozen, cheesecake, Oreos, or dress?
Teeth.
Okay, let's do teeth. All right. let me get my background, because of course you always have to have a background when you're talking about something.
Yeah.
Do you like dentists? Have you ever been to the dentist?
I have been to the dentist a time or two, and I love my dentist. He's fantastic. So he keeps my pearly whites shining. What about you? I think you've got dentistry in your family, huh?
My father was a dentist, an old-fashioned kind of dentist. He didn't use Novocaine on us as kids. Now, I'm not sure if that was to build character.
Oh, I require Novocaine, even for cleaning.
Yeah. Or if it just wasn't that bad, according to him. But, you know, we also have very good friends that actually the husband went to school with my husband. So he's been our he's done our dental stuff over the years, like, I don't know, cleanings, and some of the kids have had their wisdom teeth pulled out and all that kind of stuff. So, but yes, my father was my dentist. My dad's best friend was my orthodontist, which is why I have such straight teeth.
Yeah.
And,
thank you.
Yeah. And then the other best friend was the oral surgeon. So, you know, it was just whether I liked it or not, it was all in the family.
It's all in who you hang out with.
But, you know, little naturopathy tip, if we don't keep our teeth clean and don't keep the nasty bacteria out of our mouths, that's the main, I said main vein. It's a main roadway to heart health.
Oh,
so
yeah.
If you're not taking care of your teeth, you could have some heart problems, which of course is the good old everything is connected to everything.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So hello, Debbie Miller, and I can never guess who.
That is Grace Strawn. I checked.
Miss Grace. Hello, welcome you guys, girls. I say guys, but
yeah.
So our Kansas City gals, our Kansas City following. So yes, dental health is very important. So happy National Dentist Day.
Thank you, Doc. I'm glad it wasn't too traumatic for you, so that's good.
No, I don't have any trauma with that at all.
Yeah.
No.
That's good.
So let's see. Let us go to our next National Day of.
What will this be? Drum roll, please. Oh, broccoli and carrots. All right, go ahead.
Do you ever buy frozen food?
Not usually like that. I like the broccoli fresh, and I do my own carrots because I want organic, and I like them peeled and rinsed in 7.0 water. So I'm a little picky on that stuff.
Yes, this is the, I think they call it the veggie blend or something like that.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember. I do it to
like they were fresh. So that's why I thought, what is Doc doing with frozen stuff?
Now it's a backup. It's kind of like a backup emergency, you know, I'm out of broccoli. I don't want to go to the store and it's 8 o'clock at night and we're all starving to death. Yeah. But actually, if you've ever heard, I think you've heard of this, the Environmental Working Group puts out two lists. They put out the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15.
Yes.
And the Clean 15 is the least amount of pesticides and chemical, et cetera, et cetera. Frozen peas, I do believe, and I'm going off the top of my head. I should know this because I glance at it at least once a month. Frozen peas, the way they process it and get it to, the freezer, they're actually very low in that rating, the pesticide, herbicide, all that chemical, but frozen peas.
Which means frozen peas are good for you in that case?
Yeah, they're on the list. Of course, gosh, for some reason I keep thinking beans, but I'm almost sure it's peas.
Okay.
So it's on the Clean 15. My dog keeps walking around. Of course, she, like my children, nobody listens to me anymore. She walks around as I'm on the Zoom call. I'm sitting at a table and she walks around the table.
She wants to play.
She wants to go outside because I have my hat on. So anyway, so it is National Frozen Food Day. So happy National Frozen Food, everybody.
Thank you so much, Doc. Happy National Frozen Food Day to you also.
Okay, moving right along.
That's perfect timing for a gardener, right?
Yeah, isn't it? Uh-huh. If it was harvest, if it was August, there might be a different twist to that because they do freeze some of the stuff that comes out of the garden. So
what
do you think? Does that look appetizing?
Is that key lime pie?
No, actually it is a white chocolate cheesecake, but I couldn't find anything that looked decent.
Okay.
I wish it was key lime pie.
Yeah, seriously. I could, because I'm into the green thing, of course, but
Yes.
white chocolate cheesecake. Okay, keep going.
It's National White Chocolate Cheesecake Day. I like a cheesecake that's not overly sweet, believe it or not, because I think cheesecake, I think it's rich enough as it is, and you don't need to be adding extra sweet to it.
I have had, and that looks yummy actually, and I could probably handle white chocolate because I love white chocolate macadamia cookies, like that kind of thing, which is why I don't buy them. Thank you. But I have had a cheesecake that looks just like that. And at the very top in the center, they put a coffee bean. And it was absolutely delectable. And that looks very beautiful. But from here, it really does look possibly like key lime pie. So white chocolate cheesecake day. Yeah. Yep. I might have to celebrate that one.
I wish it was key lime pie, but one of my besties in Florida, we've searched all over Florida. So far, we haven't found anything that is our version of what we would find to be excellent key lime pie. So
yeah.
All right. So happy white chocolate cheesecake National Day of.
Oh my gosh. Karen is out to lunch with Robin. So, hey, Robin. Hey, Karen. Her favorite hugger is her sister.
Awesome. 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 All right. So we'll just segue into, oh, there we go.
There you go, Grace. Now we got some real chocolate on here.
Happy National Oreo Cookie Day.
Oh, wow. I wonder if Oreo had anything to do with that day being named.
I don't know. Is it a marketing thing? Kind of like Valentine's, Mother's Day. Yeah. Yeah. So do you care for Oreo cookies, or are they just too much with the stuff in the middle?
100 years ago, my grandfather worked for Sunshine Biscuit, and the first cookie out that looked like that was called Hydrox.
Yep.
And that is what we got as a staple anytime we went to their house. He had little packets because they were on, I remember this completely, white boards. And there was a cellophane packet with each new kind of cookie. And that's what he would take in for demos for all of his clients. He was usually #1 in the company because everybody absolutely loved him. And so he would take the boards and they'd order how many of this, how many of that. And of course, looks and presentation was important. And so we ended up getting these fabulous cellophane bags of all these brand new, fabulous, amazing cookies. And Hydrox was actually one of my favorites. And then Oreos came out. And I probably have learned the errors of my ways over the years. So that sugar stuff is probably a bit much for me. But do you dunk, Doc? If you have an Oreo, do you dunk it?
I eat it many a different way.
Okay.
I was going to comment that we might have a connection because my grandfather, we used to go to the Sunshine Cookie Factory in Chicago.
Oh, wow. Yes.
And buy the unlabeled cookies, but they were the same thing.
Absolutely.
Like in bagfuls.
Yes.
Then I wonder why I had health problems.
I know, seriously, these sound like organic cookies to me.
Yeah. My Oreo cookies I will dunk, but I don't drink regular milk anymore, so it just doesn't do it. But I don't eat Oreo cookies either. So yeah. I also eat the middle out. I also will drink it or eat it with coffee. But I've used it in the past to grind them up and make them either into truffles or the crust on a cheesecake. So
I connect. Okay, I can go there, I think.
I would say I don't use the Oreo brand anymore for the truffles because I use an organic, gluten-free copy, which actually we like better, to be honest. Yeah, back in the day when I could tolerate all of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you just imagine if we went with our passions and all this stuff that we would be eating? It's just, I look at that sometimes and I go, oh my gosh, what was I thinking, first of all? But I mean, seriously, when people do stuff like that, it's a nice treat. And just like you've taught us, anything in moderation, it just can't be your daily driver. And one of this once a year or twice a year maybe is not going to possibly be so awful, but every single day,
no, no. So, and then the last one, I don't have a background because I wasn't sure about proprietary or,
Oh, wow. Let's hear this.
This is, Debbie Miller said peppermint cheesecake with Oreo crust. Yes.
I'm going to have to find out where she lives. That's what we're going to do next, Doc.
She just needs to bring a cheesecake next time we go out for coffee.
There you go. I like that. That's a good idea. Go for it,
like that. Yeah. The next one is it's National Dress Day. So I have a question on that one.
Okay.
Which type of dress did you like to wear? Did you like to wear going out for the, I don't know how you would say it, tuxedo, fancy restaurant kind of dress, or a summer dress?
Probably I would be, and that's an interesting question over the years from a standpoint of, I was just talking to someone else about corporate versus stay-at-home kind of stuff and wardrobe. How long does it take you to prepare your wardrobe every day? Interesting now, right? Yeah. But in the day, black tie stuff is my absolute favorite ever, ever, ever. The gentleman is in tuxedo. We are in glitz and bling, and I love that. And I've got several gorgeous beaded jackets that weigh about 5 million pounds. And that is just a blast. And so I love that part, but I would be a tailored dress person corporate wise with a blazer. And so that would probably be more my style. Summer sundresses and things like that are fun, but I would probably, that's probably not my fit as much as corporate type stuff or black tie stuff. What about you?
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't fit my persona, but when I was working in corporate, or when my husband was in corporate, when he went into the office, I loved, there was one company he worked for that would always have black tie dinners. Mm-hmm. And there was one Christmas, as a matter of fact, I wore a mulberry long, like fitted dress, sequins in the whole 9 yards, 6-inch heels. Oh my gosh, I loved it. And he was in a tuxedo.
Yeah, so that would be my thing. That's cool.
It was all the it was the ambiance of the environment, the fancy dinner. They had dancing. I mean, it was just, I love doing that kind of stuff. So yeah. So, but yeah.
Karen goes to a lot of black tie events now for all the fundraisers that she's involved with. And I get to live vicariously through all her fabulous blinged out dresses, because it really is super fun.
And like you, believe it or not, Queenie, I've got tons of blazers that I used to, and I actually was looking at one the other day going, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to keep it or not. And you'll never guess what color it is.
Pardon me. I bet it's blue.
Yeah. It's blue. It's like bright blue. It's
I just knew it would be blue.
I know. So yeah, I was just looking at it. It's one of my favorite blazers, and I'm like, well, I'm going to keep that, because you just never know.
Yeah. Well, and quite frankly, even some of the networking things and chambers of commerce and different deals like that, I actually do still dress like that, just because I guess to change it up a little, first of all. But when we're on these Zoom calls all day long, it's kind of nice to be able to go somewhere where you can actually dress for the moment. And so, yeah, definitely, if your blue blazer is still your, like, that's what you think of when you think corporate, I would definitely keep it.
Yeah. So happy National Everything, everybody.
Yeah. Absolutely. And Grace likes dresses, and I've seen some of her photographs, and they are terrific. So it's just so much fun, especially with the Facebook postings and things like that, to see what everybody's doing, and especially being out in the world again and stuff like that. It's great.
So speaking of being out in the business world and everything, what is your take on where people are at right now, business or otherwise? Do you think people have relaxed a little bit, sense of humor coming back? Or, I mean, because I probably should have prefaced it with, we started Doc and Queenie to lighten things up and talk about business and just, you know, more so lighten things up and just and have some fun, even if it's a half an hour once a week, you know?
Yeah. Well, from where I sit, a lot of people that I have known over the years that were networking in person, for me, it felt like they were taking kind of a hiatus because they don't do virtual networking either. So when I happen across their pages, sometimes I send them a private message. Where are you networking now? I never see you except for a few posts on Facebook very occasionally. Oh, no, I'm not networking until everything comes back to normal. And I always invite them to a lot of the different virtual groups I'm in. And would you like to go with me? It's free and blah, blah, blah. And they've said over the years, no, I'm not comfortable with Zoom and blah, blah, blah. And that's all great. But now I have seen a flip. I had a brand new person today at one of my groups that has been inching her way into virtual. And today she just was like, ta-da, I'm here. And it was like so cool to see. And I love being able to see that people are flipping a little bit back to in person. Some of those groups are getting bigger now, which is cool. But even the virtual ones, people who said, I'm not doing that Zoom stuff. I want to wait till everything gets back to normal. It seems like they're happy with the Zoom stuff. So I've seen a lot of shifting lately, actually. What about you, Doc? Are your friends getting out in the world more, or do they like the virtual?
You know, it's mixed. It's definitely mixed, but like you, there's a few here and there that are going, oh, virtual. You know, and it's mixed, kind of like, it's funny, just like my business is. I'm in person about 50% of the time, and I'm you know, transferring to virtual about 50% of the time. So yeah, it's interesting. And every once in a while you have somebody pop up that's you know, not happy with whatever, and you know, it's, I don't know, it's like, yeah, I never know what to do with people like that.
Yeah.
Like I have anything to do with it, but you know, it's just, it's a downer. Once in a while you run into somebody like that. So,
well, and whenever people say, I don't do whatever the topic is that we're talking about, I always ask, what would happen if someone said, I don't do whatever it is your business is? And then they go, oh, and so I really mean it. You know, I don't do that. Then you would be the one to say, well, let's see if I can shift your mentality. And so for me, it would be the same thing. I don't do posting parties. And so all of a sudden I'm like, I can't imagine what my reach would look like. And I did the analysis piece today as far as how many views I've been getting and how many searches I've been involved in. That number has exploded and I had no idea. And so I was not doing LinkedIn effectively yet. And so I'm very glad when I said I don't do posting parties that I flipped that.
Yeah. Well, and you know, it's, well, it comes down to also whatever comes out of our mouths, whatever we're doing, everybody's watching. Well, yeah, people are watching.
Yeah, they are.
So, I'm always careful to watch, you know, how I respond to somebody that doesn't do or whatever. But yeah, I've had the same experience with some of my YouTube stuff. I had planted. Oh boy, I've got planting on the brain. I planted some ideas on YouTube about planting. And
you're dying to get outside is what you're doing.
Yeah, I need to get outside, clear my head. I had tons and tons of hits on one of my videos, which it's right along with where we're at as far as the growing season. And it was fun to see it happen. And it is because of posting parties. And like we always talk about that the cross pollination of different social media platforms, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, so just had to ask that question because it's just been kind of on my mind for the past couple of days.
I have noticed a flip. I will say I've noticed a flip.
So how does our, should we do our wheel today? How does our wheel look? Do we?
Our wheel looks amazing, Doc. Our wheel looks amazing.
I'm always surprised because I don't know if you've, you know, changed things while we've been gone. I mean, we only talk once a week. So
yeah, I'm so serious. Yeah, I'm so serious about that. Some of the things I see on this wheel, I'm still seeing that people are not, what would you say, comfortable with yet. Can you see the screen okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Instagram.
Oh, that's a perfect segue. All right. That is a perfect segue. You are definitely in charge of this one, my friend.
Well, Instagram. Instagram, of course, is a great platform. They have changed over the past couple of months. And I'm not really sure if it's good or bad, but I use it regardless because there are still people on Instagram that follow me. And actually, in the past month, I've gained 150 followers.
Oh my gosh, then I'd say that's working for you.
Yeah, I'm now shooting for 1,000. I'm at about 715, I want to say I'm at. And it's interesting. I'm constantly looking, and I don't know if you do this, but I'm constantly evaluating, I should say, what works, what doesn't, and still can't figure it out with Instagram because sometimes it could be the topic, whatever is hot for the moment. And of course, hot, no pun intended, is growing season is upon us, starting seedlings. So I'm starting to see more gardening things come out. So of course, I'm going to put more gardening things out there. And people are searching for it too. I also, one little piece of advice, if you are on Instagram, I follow people in my field because I like to see what they're doing. And sometimes it's an idea for me on how to present it differently or pull something that they didn't cover and, you know, come up with something totally new. So Instagram is great. I mainly do Instagram reels, but I'm trying to backfill with little bits and pieces with posts with information, basically. And it's funny because I referred to my Instagram account and then I'm like, you know, I don't have much information on there. I better backfill that because I have more information through reels. So.
One of the things I've noticed on your Instagram is that you, that seems to be a big place that you do a lot of business, not necessarily personal. Is that true?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's really interesting. I do get a lot. I do get a lot of hits off of LinkedIn.
Okay.
That seems to be the engine, but I do more business on Instagram.
Okay.
Facebook, I'm scratching my head right now because I'm trying to decide if it's worth it because of what I do. Like, for example, with my ebook, I'm investigating, should I do a few ads on Facebook, you know, in order to get the word out. It's just a little, you know, every platform has its thing. I'm also on TikTok under Garden Doc 7 because I couldn't do Kitchen Garden Expert. And that actually is fun to watch because I get more hits and more views on my reels that I transfer from Instagram to TikTok because I didn't think that could happen, but it's allowing me to put that on there without the music. Everything else transfers over. And I'm getting more people, more views on TikTok. So,
you couldn't do Kitchen Garden Expert because it was taken?
Yeah, I go figure. Uh-huh.
Wow. Now that is a big surprise.
There, you know, maybe it's, I don't even know, you know, kitchen gardens, and I'm trying to think, I think it was taken or maybe I had too many letters. I can't remember. It might've been a combination, but I couldn't use it. So I'm Garden Doc 7, which is one of my hashtags.
Yeah. and Debbie just hashtagged Instagram. Yes. And she is doing so great on not only everything, but she just did a hashtag video contest video, and that has been cool to see. And in the video, her hashtags were so perfect. And it really is a very cool thing to see how hashtags work. And I know when you do your postings on Instagram, you check Instagram to see what's hashtagging or trending.
Yes, I bring up the hashtags. I bring up my own. I've got my own 7 to 10 that I use. And then I also see what's popular.
Okay.
And then I also hashtag what I'm talking about. Okay. So the other day, actually, I think it was on TikTok. I'm trying to remember. I've been doing both lately. But hashtag wise, I've been digging a trench in front of my greenhouse in order to drain the flooding. And so I hashtag trench, digging, drain. greenhouse, DIY project, and then all of my usuals, which are, let's see, hashtag diary of a greenhouse, hashtag kitchen garden expert, hashtag gardening. All of those are the like gardening, garden to table, veggies, vegetarian, vegan. All of those are very, very popular, meaning like millions of hashtags. And the combinations between all of that, and then like what Debbie just did, Instagram, I'll hashtag that occasionally. But I also hashtag reels, and then reels of Instagram, and then reels of the day in Instagram.
Oh, wow.
Reels of the day. I mean, there's so many different. So yeah, if I do that between the hashtags with the reach and the consistency of every day, right now I average about 5,000. Things have changed. I was able to hit 40,000 about 6 months ago, and something has definitely changed with the platform. So I haven't seen, I haven't gone out there to see what other people are saying as far as what it is. I have seen people say, yes, it has changed. So who knows what's going on with that. But it's that combination, like you say, hashtags, consistency. Yes, Queenie.
I do have a question, Dr. Laura. I know that you are an analytical, statistical person, as I am. Do you know what your record is right now for Instagram views?
My record right now is 57. Well, let me check it. Last time I checked, it's 57.3 views on Sawdust.
I assume that means 1,000.
Yes. Yes. 57.3 thousand views. Yes. Thank you for that correction.
All right. That is pretty incredible. And that's why I was wondering if your hashtags are getting your views or the topic, or how is that working? Because I think that is just phenomenal.
It's the combination. And then also, I also populate my Facebook page, whether it's a lot of times it'll pop up on my kitchen garden expert, and occasionally I sit corrected. It's 53.8 thousand.
Okay.
On Sawdust. On Sawdust. If I could make money off of that.
Oh my gosh. That is so cool, though, honestly. Now, being me, do you take these videos and put those on your YouTube channel also?
I eventually, yes, I've got some of them on there, but I'm not consistent as you are, but yes.
No. I just wondered because I would think if you're getting that kind of views on Instagram, what kind of views would you be getting on YouTube with the similar hashtags, because the Google searching and all that stuff. So that's why I was wondering if you have a Instagram reel playlist on your YouTube account to cross-pollinate once again. And I just didn't know if that works when you're doing all this Instagram stuff.
It does. I have a short list right now. But yeah, I actually have that, the short list, but Instagram will go on there. TikToks will go on there, which actually those basically are the same. And then, as long as we're talking about hashtag and populating all over, being consistent, Doc and Queenie's on there, Kathy Chat's on there. And then I have my favorite YouTubers that I follow, which I follow you, I follow Debbie Miller, I follow Delinda Lane, so there's Fun Fearless Female. So all of that cross-pollination. Yes.
Wow.
And that keeps the engine, as you know, Queenie, that keeps the engine going.
Absolutely. And for those of you watching with us and your head just exploded, please do not think that this is like we just landed here. For me anyway, this has been let me try that. And then another time it'd be, wait a minute, I need to try that. And then of course, my favorite button on my computer is delete. And so once I've done something and go, and so don't ever be afraid of that, because when we talk about some of these things, that's why we have the topics on the wheel of names for Doc and Queenie. Each one of these opportunities is a chance to see if people need additional help on some of these things. And I had a lady today on one of my posting parties. She came from a very large convention over the weekend, and she was telling the people at her table, she said there were 20 people lined up around her at this big convention hall. And she said, how many of you have a LinkedIn account? And a few hands went up. And then she goes, how many of you are using it effectively? Nobody. And she said, I know that because I stalk you, and it's time for you to attend a posting party. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So it's just amazing how one topic leads to two topics, leads to three topics. And it's trial and error for me.
Well, and I'd also like to comment on, we of course are both, we both have different personalities. And I'm always, bam, wham, bam, I'm off to the next, which, I always bring up consistency, and I'll be totally transparent. Consistency is difficult for me in some realms, and it's keeping the platforms moving, because I've got the gardening, which takes time. And I also have the videos, which take time, and I'm writing, which takes time, so it can be, like you've just said to everybody, if you think about it, it can be overwhelming.
Yep.
But it's just, my advice to people, if they're looking for advice, is just don't give up. Just keep moving forward. I mean, I think that's what it's all about, regardless of whatever you've got going.
Yeah, so I agree completely. You said a huge, gigantic mouthful in that amount of time. Oil and water, which we have mentioned, the two of us, because our personalities are definitely not the same. Our interests are not the same. And how the Doc and Queenie community came to be, I think that's why we have such an incredibly awesome and diverse group within our community of Doc and Queenie. And everyone has different interests. And I feel that everyone brings different gifts to the table. And I love this.
Yes. Yes. And it's great to have guest lives, because we can, sneak a peek into what everybody's doing. And we always also include or encourage, post on Doc and Queenie, not necessarily like, hey, I've got a sale, even just something fun to just kind of, get that engine going. But yeah, that's what I love too about everybody. There's so many different people, different businesses, different backgrounds. And that's what makes the world go around. That's what it's all about.
I agree completely. I am looking to make sure, we have a Doc and Queenie scheduled. And because of everybody's incredibly nutso schedule, it's on March 24th. And as soon as I was, you said we needed this, we needed that, we needed something. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so our next Doc and Queenie guest live is going to be on March 24th. Stay tuned to see who it is. But it's so much fun to be able to literally interview and chat with our friends, just like we did Derica Morgan a couple weeks ago. Oh my gosh, to be able to make new friends in the community is just a blast.
And then the disclaimer, if you've been on, if it's been more than 6 months, hey, reach out to me or Queenie and we'll get you on again.
You bet.
You need to just keep, talking about it. So, we'd love to have everybody, and it's after March 24th.
Oh my gosh, I know. And I looked at that and I thought we scheduled somebody. Oh, by the time we got everybody's schedule synced up, it was March 24th.
I know, it's just kind of crazy, but it'll be here before we know it.
Yeah, that's right.
So Queenie, I guess we're out of time again.
Oh my goodness, Doc, how does this keep happening?
I think we're just so busy talking. We just don't know.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Oh my gosh.
So thank you everyone for joining us, everybody that was here with us live or on the replay. And please share this with your networks so we can just all, network together and connect together. We are here every Monday at
high noon.
You can find Queenie at Kathy Weaver KC on all social platforms, or her website, kathyweaverkc.com. Myself, Kitchen Garden Expert, all social media. Well, I'm saying all social media platforms for either, all the main ones, of course. And you can find me at kitchengardenexpert.com. Until next week, have a fantastic week. Celebrate the warmth if you can. And we will catch you here next Monday at high noon. Thank you, Queenie.
Thank you, Doc. Bye for now.
Thank you, everyone.